What's up, everybody? Historic day in college sports, NIL Day, name, image, and likeness, July 1st, 2021, as college athletes can now profit off their name, image, and likeness, which I think is fantastic, and I think it's great for these kids. It's a bit of the wild, wild west. You're seeing this all over social media, but we wanted to get involved a little bit. I live in the Kirkwood School District. Here we are at the radio station, 590 The Fan KFNS in Kirkwood. So we wanted to get a Kirkwood guy who starred for the Pioneers at Kirkwood High School, Jay Maclin, now a wide receiver at the University of Missouri, and pay him to do some sponsorship and promotion of our radio show, because as of today, these kids like Jay Maclin can make money for doing this.
How y'all doing? This is Jay Maclin from Kirkwood, wide receiver from the University of Missouri. You should all go check out the Charlie Marlow Show on 590 The Fan KFNS, and please go subscribe to his YouTube channel. By the way, Charlie only paid me $100 to do this ad, so he's being kind of cheap. M-I-Z.
Z-O-U. And by the way, I know he was kidding, but I thought $100 for a 15, 20-second video was pretty fair. I just think it's really interesting, the mechanics of all of this and how you get these deals done. I was texting back and forth with Jay Maclin, and he goes to his coaches and goes through compliance to make sure it's all good. Another local football player from U City who went to Westminster Christian Academy, Bennie Anderson Jr., he's an offensive lineman at Yale, and I was texting with him about doing a paid interview, and he had to actually have a contract. So we made a quick little contract written and sent it to him. We both signed it. He went through compliance at Yale to do a paid interview and promotion here on 590 The Fan. So you can listen to that right now.
And starring right now, our guy, Bennie Anderson Jr., offensive lineman from St. Louis, from U City, went to Westminster Christian Academy, and now goes to the safety school of Cam and I, Yale. Of course, we could have gotten into Yale as well, Cam Janssen. But Bennie joins us for a paid interview, because this is legal now, which Bennie I think is awesome, because of name, image, and likeness legislation going forward starting today, July 1st. Bennie, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good. I really appreciate the opportunity and both of you guys having me on.
Yeah, this is pretty fun and interesting, and honestly, going back and forth with you over Twitter and text, I'm really interested about the mechanics of with your school. How do you figure out what you can be paid for in the process, and walk people through that, because you and I actually had to sign a contract. You have to go through compliance. What kind of training did you get from Yale for all of this new world?
And so this was all just happened really, really fast. And I think we knew that there was a chance of this happening, but for it to happen so fast it's really exciting and a great opportunity kind of for all student athletes. So for me, it was, I saw you made a tweet. We reached out and we came to an agreement, and I passed it on to compliance. And pretty much our process was, I technically can't say everything that I say has to be me, like representing kind of myself. And at this stage, I can't really say anything about my university that I play football at.
Harvard.
I'm able to. Right. Yeah, that one. Right. But so it's a pretty complicated process, but there has to be kind of go through like a contract, have that proof that this is happening. I have to realize that I'm representing myself, so you always want to make sure that you're kind of with a brand or a partnership that's something that you can look back on like 5-10 years, like, okay, that was a really cool opportunity. And then I think as we kind of go further, as we start to get some more kind of advice on really just from the NCAA on how, if we're able to utilize like our school's image, the name of the university, whenever we're doing these types of events, that should give us more clarification in the future. But honestly, this has been a pretty exciting process. I'm not complaining.
Well, you shouldn't, because there's money involved for sure. But is there like an internal competition, not just with you and maybe the guys on your team and stuff like that, but like everybody in the athletic world now, they're like, okay, well, maybe I'm not the quarterback or maybe I'm not this, but damn, I'm pretty witty and I'm pretty funny. I know how to dance, so maybe I could do this and that, and I can monetize it this way. Like, is there like an internal competition with everybody now that you can make money in different ways?
Yeah, I think it really kind of depends, and I think it just sort of depends on your approach to everything. I know for, my teammates and I, this is kind of, it's really on the back burner because we didn't play in the fall. So our main kind of goal is, and one of the things my father always talks to me about is this stuff it's really cool. It's a great opportunity, but it's important not to lose focus on your goals, because at the end of the day, if you're not performing, there's what would be a brand or a company's purpose of having you as a sponsor. So that's from my perspective is that. But I think that there's definitely some sort of kind of a little bit of like, well, I think everybody's kind of like tipping their toe in and sort of trying to figure it out. Especially, it's a little bit different coming from like a FCS or like a Ivy League perspective, because obviously, we don't have as many people at our games, or as kind of as large of like a TV audience as a Alabama or like a Ohio State or even a Mizzou. So it's just a little bit different. But I personally think that if I have the opportunity to make a little money on the side and maybe take care of the laundry for the week, I've got no complaint.
Yeah. Are you into video games? Because we've been looking on social media. I was texting with another player, and apparently all these kids are going through this video game company. They're getting paid something like $20 for social media posts. And I know that depends on your school and how many people are watching, yeah, but I'm guessing that's also a big part of this with the video games and the TikTok and all that, which Cam and I were joking about. We don't know all about it, but man,
I do. With
folks of your age, that seems to be all the rage.
Oh, without a doubt. I think it was as soon as the clock hit 12 a.m., I just saw my feed was just cluttered with a whole bunch of I forget the video game company, but basically they
Yoke
put out Yoke. They just put out like a ad that said, hey, we're going to pay student athletes however many, I guess it was $20. You just put it up here for 24 hours and the money's yours. So honestly, I might need to go ahead and look into that myself. But it's just, I think kind of those little things, and and for a lot of kids, it's just, you already have such a large social media following or backing, and so now you're just getting paid for it, which I think which is quite normal for social media stars and like TikTok stars and video game, Twitch streamers, all that stuff. Now you just get to make actual legit on the table money with it.
We're talking with Bennie Anderson Jr. from St. Louis, offensive lineman at Yale. I know this is the first day, so you're trying to tiptoe around where you go to school, and you talking about that. Although, big picture, I don't think these schools, but they're just trying to figure this out like we all are. So I'll ask you in this sense. You mentioned just from the Ivy League perspective, because you're not on CBS like Alabama at 3 o'clock on a Saturday, but you guys are at an Ivy League school, and you guys are very, very smart. Have you talked about the fact, how can you use that? Use your brains, use the Ivy League, be creative to maybe market yourself in a way if you're not on the Big Ten Network and CBS, but still put yourself out there and try to make a couple bucks.
Oh, exactly. I think that there's a couple different approaches to this. I think one of the biggest things for me personally has been about, I'm a big believer of if you go about doing things the right way, you'll get a good payoff. So just about, taking care of business, whether it be at school, whether it be with, your football, but also kind of thinking about it from the perspective of, the way you treat people, that adds up and that builds up. So I think that in terms of kind of going about it that way, a lot of opportunities will be open to you that way. But also, I think for me, look at it from the perspective of going back home. You've made it from St. Louis, now you're in an Ivy League institution, or you made it from wherever city you're at, and now you're at an Ivy League school and you're playing football. There's a little bit of a brand presence right there. And then another thing that a lot of people haven't considered about is, potentially getting involved with alums and seeing, hey, maybe I can promote your brand or this brand. And I think really it's so wide open right now that it's kind of it's just a really exciting time to be a student athlete.
So say you're a coach and you're a coach of a football team or whatever, and say like you start seeing the tone of the locker room, and most of the guys don't have a big impact on everyday games and practice and stuff like that, but you're probably going to start noticing that half the team might sway away from what we care about football and use their pedestal and say, "Nah, I'm a good dancer. Well, that's what I'm going to do in the locker room." And then you have all kinds of guys filming themselves in the locker room doing funny things just to build up their repertoire because they can't do it on the field. Do you think that's going to be a problem?
I think it depends on what school you're at, but for us, my university, that's not really a concern. I think it's for us, it's about, taking care of business first and foremost. I think that really needs to be something that should be kind of echoed to all student athletes as we get ready to, just as these opportunities have now kind of just appeared, is that, yeah, you can be a dancer and all that stuff, but the most important thing is like you're here to perform and to produce, and you get your degree, but there's a stipulation with that. So you can go that route, but if the moment you start to take your eye off the ball and the moment you start losing focus of what's important, for me it's my teammates, for me it's representing my family, representing my school, representing and kind of just being completely all into that. Once you lose focus on that, that's when it starts to become a little bit of a slippery slope. And, if you're all winning, you all eat. And if you're not winning, you don't eat.
Not necessarily, though.
Simple as that.
Because what do you mean by that, though? Like, what if you know that you can make more money using the brand and being cute and clever in some different avenue instead of, like, doing what you need to do for the football team and then waiting to see what you're going to do after football or basketball or whatever it is? And you could be like, well, no, I'm going to turn this way. So how is it more important to get your education when you can make a ton of money if somebody's going to offer you something if you're skilled at something else using that platform?
I think that for, again, like kind of with like each team and kind of each level of play, that's sort of like a different sort of situation. Because, I mean, if you're at a scholarship university, your ability to go to college for free and to be kind of with this platform is on your ability to produce. So if you're doing kind of all this stuff on the side, which definitely like you're going to make, if you can make money and do anything to kind of continue to support yourself, that's huge. But at the end of the day, if you're not producing a product on the field, I mean that scholarship can be pulled from you like that. And then also if you look at it from our perspective of kind of a non-scholarship university, I think that again it really comes down to culture of like the programs of what your team has kind of created and cultivated to where yes, go out and pursue, and if you can do something, do it, but at the end of the day, don't lose focus on your main goal. But I honestly think that could be a problem for some teams' locker rooms in the future, and really even now. But for us, like for my team, and I think for most universities, I would think that wouldn't be as big of a problem, just due to the fact that, especially scholarship schools, like if you're not producing, that free college is going to go away.
We're talking with Bennie Anderson Jr., offensive lineman at Yale, from St. Louis, from U City, went to Westminster Christian Academy. Let's talk a little football. For you, you go to school and your first year, it's COVID and there's no season where you guys didn't get to play at all. I mean, how frustrating, disappointing was that? And then obviously you now looking forward to actually getting to play football this upcoming fall. It
was a really, really hard year because it was kind of my first year not playing football in like 6 years. So it was really humbling, I would say, because I saw all of my, the guys who were getting recruited, everybody was playing, pretty much every school, like conference was having some form, even if it was shortened or abbreviated, they had a season. So I think for me, kind of this not being able to play a game that I love, I had the opportunity to really kind of appreciate, the opportunity and really just the blessing that it is to be able to continue to play football. So this fall, the way that my university did it was the first semester, the freshmen, juniors, and seniors were on campus. So we were able to practice a little bit, and we were able to lift and train. So just kind of really going at it from that perspective, making the most of our brief time that we were up there. And then in the spring, or really from Thanksgiving break till May, and to the end of May, I was at home. So I was back in St. Louis, and my main goal, like purpose, was I'm going to try to maximize the most of my time at home, spend time with my family, but also, get as strong as I possibly can, try to master the playbook, everything like that, because now I'm here and I have the time to focus even more so individually on that, outside of unfortunately not being able to be with my teammates. I was able to get after it, and I'm really excited. I'm back in New Haven, going through off-season workouts and conditioning. I can't tell you how overjoyed I was to see all of my guys that first day back, and then they put us on the bikes, and that wasn't as fun. But it's just kind of a newfound, not really newfound, but it's an even deeper appreciation for really how you get to be one of the small percentage of people who gets to continue playing a sport that they love.
Bennie Anderson Jr., offensive lineman at Yale. We have to ask you one random question. It's coming from our text line. Somebody wants to know, do they really have the secret clubs, the Skull and Bones Club, the secret societies? You always, the Dead Poet Societies type stuff at the Ivy League schools. Does that stuff still go on?
Oh, 110%. I can't really go into details about because I'm young, so I haven't had the opportunity to be like tapped, but they're all there, and you can walk anytime you walk around campus. There's a whole bunch of buildings. There's Skull and Bones. There's so many. So it's
what is
secret society? Skull and Bones. That's like the supposed to be the elite of the elite of the secret society. So
were there were there
like
presidents like George Bush was in that? Am I wrong?
Yep.
Yeah.
You're absolutely correct.
Yep. Okay. So they're the cool people. So the Skull and Bones cats, they wear like a skull on their chest when they walk around. Like, I'm the Skull and Bones crew, and our girls like, we like you. Like, what's the deal with that?
No, I don't think it's like necessarily like that. I think it's more just like I don't really know how to call it. I think it's a lot more low key now than it was in the earlier days, but they're definitely still around. And I think it's your junior year. They tap people, like do like an invite, and so there's a whole kind of tap night process, and then you get assigned or whatever society taps you, and you actually want to go through it with it. They go through with it, and that's about all I know.
Yeah, the girls don't like it. Who cares anyway? Seriously, you're absolutely right, I guess.
Yep. Interesting stuff. Just like this whole name, image, and likeness deal. And because it's fun, you guys, I'm very happy you guys can now get paid. So we're giving you $100 here for this. You're earning it.
You're giving $100, Charlie.
Right, and we're going to try to write it off in the marketing budget. We're going to have to talk with corporate about that, because I remember my college days. It was a long time ago. It was 20 years ago. But an extra $100 helps. So what do you got? You got laundry. You can buy some pizza or dinner.
So I've already mapped it out. $100. I've got my laundry taken care of for a little bit. I've got I've got a train ticket if I want to go into New York City.
Nice.
Do that, homie.
Got that. Oh, most definitely. And you never know. I might have a little extra money. Might treat myself to a Pepe's Pizza.
Well, if you're gonna spend the money to go to New York City, you better have an extra coin to like pay for things too. So you better just keep that coin, dude. Or you could pay for to go in the Skull and Bones Society. I don't know how much that costs, but actually, I wouldn't save your money. Who cares about them?
Right. It might take to pay to get in. Might take me a little bit. Might cost me a little bit more than.
Save your money. Go to New York City. You're fine.
Got you.
All good. Well, Bennie, this was really fun, man. I'm happy for you. Thank you for corresponding. It's really interesting.
Yeah, dude.
Again, just signing the contract and going through this, I was really interested with how each school handles this. And you're a great kid, man. We'll talk to you down the road as well. And can't wait to see how you do in your first college season coming up at Yale. Thanks a lot, man.
Good luck, big boy.
Thanks for having me.
All right, dude. That's Bennie Anderson Jr. He's from U City, went to Westminster Christian Academy, offensive lineman at Yale. Really good kid. Really quick story, by the way. Yep. So last year, they have this football breakfast for the kids that are signing their letters of intent to go to college, and they get all the kids. It's at, what golf course is it at? I forgot, but I should know.
Hardcore up there? big boy?
Oh, yeah. So, no, you have
Jersey, New York?
No, this is in St. Louis.
Oh.
I just can't remember which golf course
St.
it's
Albans?
at. No, it doesn't matter. Somebody will text in. But anyway, all these players are there. And so, we're on the prep zone. We name all the quarterbacks and the running backs and the wide receivers. And let's be real. We don't give enough credit to the offensive linemen. Bennie comes up to me and he shook my hand. He called me Mr. Marlow. I'm like, hey, I'm not Mr. Marlow.
No, you're
I'm
not.
Charlie.
Yeah.
The nicest kid, most respectful kid. He said, hey, I'm Bennie Anderson Jr. I play at Westminster. I'm going to Yale. I was so impressed. And we did a little interview that aired on Fox 2, and we've corresponded over Twitter. And then with this whole deal with name, image, and likeness, I mean, that kid, just a great kid, bright future.
Dude.
He's going to walk away playing football with a scholarship.
He's going to be successful.
Or with an education from Yale. I mean, get out of here, man.
Dude, look, sometimes you don't have to do TikTok nerdy videos and stuff like that to monetize. You just have to be really smart, cool, calm, and collected like this cat.
NIL Day, great for these kids. The big timers are probably going to make 6, maybe 7 figures if you're a big time quarterback or basketball player, but also for just everybody, whether it's $20 for a video game, social media post. If you make $100 here and there, you heard from Bennie Anderson, that's your laundry, your dinner, your pizza, your train ticket. I think it's awesome for these college athletes here on July 1st, NIL Day. Please remember, here on YouTube, to like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.